Hi, I'm Lee Allentuck from Raising Nerd, and I'm coming at you semi-live for Mojo Nation's Play Creators Conference. I'm so excited to be here with this group and this brand. I'm a big fan of it. It's been around since 1988, and I have a personal feeling towards it. Having worked in a small toy store in the late 80s, it was one of my favorite sections in our store, carrying amazing wooden puzzles, arts and crafts products, plush toys, and all kinds of great things. It's the Melissa and Doug brand from Connecticut. So I'm here today with Chief Commercial Officer Dave Henderson. How you doing, Dave?
I'm great, Lee. How about you?
I'm good, thanks. And I'm also here with the head of design and longtime Melissa and Doug employee and innovator, Sophia Dumery. How are you, Sophia?
Hi, Lee. Hi, audience.
Well, as I said, I'm excited to have you guys on here. I know we've worked together for a little bit, and Dave and I have a history of working together in previous places, but I'm a huge fan of your brand. I think the quality and the amazing toys and experiences that you bring to new parents and young kids is just amazing, and it continues to grow, and we're at a point in your company's history that there's sort of a pivot here or an evolution, and we're going to get into that and talk about that in a second. But first, let's talk about you guys. Let's hear a little bit about where you come from. Dave, we'll start with you. Give us a little bit of your origin story and what have you been doing in your career and how you got here?
Absolutely, Lee. Yeah, it goes way, way back. We'll take that time. No, you know what? It's been an exciting almost 18 months here with Melissa and Doug. But my toy story actually began back in 1999. So up at Hasbro Canada, started there, and spent almost 20 years at Hasbro in various different roles, exciting in the sales and customer marketing teams to the UK and international business to licensing, and started there back in 1999 through '07, and have now joined Melissa and Doug over the past 18 months on the next step of this great brand's journey. So toys is in the blood, even after spending a year outside a little over a year outside the industry. It's in the blood, and it was calling me back.
Oh, fantastic. Sophia, tell us a little bit about yours. I'm
Sure.
just fascinated by that you've been there so long and you're kind of part of this transition. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been with Melissa and Doug over 10 years now. I've seen, it's over 30-year history, just seen so much change, especially over the last 18 months, and really excited about our future plans. My story is I sort of fell into toys. I was doing houseware designs and then began to develop a line called Sunny Patch. I was at Target as an exclusive line for Target for years, and then came on board with Melissa and Doug to head up the design team here. And just it's been wonderful. Love working on brand, creating open-ended toys that have such a love, and so excited about the future as well.
Terrific. Well, so we have a strong toy group here. So let's talk a little bit about toys. And Melissa and Doug has this legacy of 30 years in the industry. I think it's got a very differentiated brand when you look at competition and the landscape. Tell us a little bit about it from your side, Sophia, is the legacy of Melissa and Doug and what it means to you and its consumer.
I think, when I tell people I work for Melissa and Doug, the words that you hear is love. And I think that's really telling. I think there's a heart there that goes into all the products that we do, emphasis obviously on quality and safety, but really of creating this pure product that has an open-endedness that children can play with for hours on end, that can pass it on. There's a legacy there that we sort of build in inherently in all our product, and that mission of creating open-ended toys that are wood-based for primarily is strong, and I think even more relevant to today's consumers, that are looking for solutions that are environmentally friendly and friendly for their children. So working for a company that's so mission-based for me is something I'm incredibly passionate about. And I think it shows in all the products that we do, really put the money in the product. We recently just started marketing in a real way. And that's just sort of adding fuel to the drive that we're under. So I think, having that focus on creating a product that is mission-based at heart, and having that always be the focus of our intent, And that remains true today as it did even 30 years ago. So we are very driven in that. I think that comes through in all of our items. So thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. Dave, I mean, is that what attracted you to the company? What brought you, from Hasbro? And I know there was a gap in between, but,
Yeah.
what attracted you to come to the Melissa and Doug brand?
Well, I mean, I can tell you when I was at Hasbro, you could see the power of the Melissa and Doug brand, what they've done with a great product over 30 years. There was more than a few times, it's like, what are they doing over there? But no, I think as Sofia mentioned, you see the purity of the brand, how, the mission and the vision still holds true. And it's not very many times in your career, you could say, I'm going to join a very powerful brand and a company with very passionate people and be empowered to take it to that next level and unlock the brand. As
Yeah.
Sofia mentioned, as we start to invest in our brand marketing and start to connect with the consumers in how and where they want to connect with us today, couple that with the great products that Sofia and the team have built over the years and the new ones that will be coming, it's pretty exciting. Can't really pass up that opportunity, Lee.
So what is the vision for the future? I mean, you're going through this, you keep talking about the investment in the marketing. Was that there before? Was the marketing there before, or?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. And again, you give full credit to Sofia and obviously Melissa and Doug and all the team that was here for almost 30 plus years to build that brand.
Yeah.
They built it off great products, great insights. But as Sofia mentioned, the mission and the vision of the company, creating that open-ended interactive play with kids. It's not screen-based, it's off-screen. You're using your imagination to play with those great toys. The next iteration of Melissa and Doug still holds true to that mission and that vision. That will not change. But the expectation of the consumer is that you've got to connect with them. They want to be a part of your brand, so you connect with them. That's what the marketing will do. Connect with them wherever they are, whether it be social media, TV, digital content, in-store, online, doesn't matter. But it's also how and where we go to market, because I feel for Sofia. I mean, she's designed these fabulous products. We got to get them out in the right places and to all those customers. She keeps making sure that I hit my numbers on a regular basis.
So, are the toys universal, right? So, and you've been known mostly as a specialty store, at least when starting out. I know it's expanded since then. Is there a new mass toy strategy, or is it taking the current portfolio and just making it so it appeals to mass? Like, how do you make that transition or that evolution, I guess, is the proper term there?
Sure. I think it's definitely a global brand. And I think it's really about refining where we go to market. The independent toy stores, no matter where they are in the world, are still key to this brand because that's where a lot of our consumers are. But I also want to dispel some myths. Everybody believes, oh, well, you're just going to mass. Well, Melissa and Doug, long before I got here, was the first toy brand on Amazon in the US. They've been in they've been in Walmart for almost 10 years. They've been in Target for close to the same, and in multiple mass and hypermarkets across Europe and around the globe. It's how we're going to market with the brand now. It's purposeful channel strategy and making sure our brand is represented in all those key areas, but also connecting with the consumers, because we're now bringing insights and analytics and research to the brand and knowing where our consumers are, so that when Sofia develops those fabulous products, we're putting it in the right places, because we can't just be everything to everybody. We've got to make sure that we connect with that consumer and where they are, online or in store.
Yeah. So that's a good question. That's a great pivot over to our friend Sofia here. Is that, a lot of times creators and designers, at first, maybe sometimes they dread being put into a box and saying, these are the insights that you're in, but sometimes they're absolutely freeing. That gives you a little bit of a barrier, or not a barrier, but more guidelines to stay within. It's not blue sky. How does your team taken that approach of that, or that new approach of taking data and being able to utilize that in your design?
Yeah, I think, for me, great product design is problem solving. So you give me a problem, we'll tag team and get it solved. So I think, having those true consumer insights, which frankly, we never had before, right? So we were doing great things, and obviously we had a huge success with them. But now to have even more insights, to really have an understanding of what is that new parent's, pain points, or, what do they really want, we can be even more attuned to creating wonderful product that is going to resonate with even wider audience. So I think, something that we did this past year was launch into licensed properties, and because we saw that there was a huge appeal of, consumers that want to see character-based products, but maybe they didn't have that option with, our open-ended toys. So
Right.
coming out with options of an open-ended wooden toy with that rich character content, that combination is then where we launch a wonderful line of products for Paw Patrol and Blue's Clues and You. That's kind of the magic of Melissa and Doug, is we can take something and really run with it. And as far as, yes, we're given a problem and we have these insights and we can build on it. I think, Lee, what really sets us apart from maybe a lot of other competitors is that we can really take your idea, as an inventor, and create a line of products around that, where we're not having to retrofit it into a very specific licensing line, because that's all we do, or a very specific core line of products. We have the flexibility because we have a wide range of categories that we play in, but within that, we have a lot of freedom. I think a lot more freedom than maybe other players. And I think it's that freedom that has been instrumental to our 30-plus-year growth. And our, what our future will be, is that we can, at the end of the day, it's like we can look at that product and say, this is the best product to solve whatever issue we've defined,
Sure.
which will bring the most fun, versus like, let's kind of, fit it into this, this peg into this, a round peg into a square hole, where it just doesn't work. So I think that's what's most exciting about the future is, taking those insights, having the freedom to really address them in a lot of different ways. And I think I'm excited about working with Inventors to solve those new problems.
Yeah, actually, Sophia, that it's a great example. As you said, it's not taking that square peg and sticking it in a round hole. You have those insights, you have that little bit of freedom, but it also translates all the way through the commercial side, because rather than trying to put that product anywhere and everywhere, it's actually, the consumers are saying, here's where I shop, here's where I go. And it's taking those great insights, that great product that's been developed, and making sure it's in the right places. Because the worst case, you take a $500 item and you bring it to a value place, well, that's not going to sell. Doesn't mean it's not great product, it's just placed wrong. So it's translating it all the way through. But I think Sophia brings up a perfect point.
So how has retail responded? Again, it's you have the same vision, the same mission. It's more of I don't even say it's an evolution. It's an expansion, right? It's this idea that you can be much more broader in your approach, even though you're still very niche. What has the retailer's response been?
Retailers are excited. I mean, obviously, Sophia and the team have brought out great product over the years, but now that they see us coming with a very focused lineup with great insights, and now it's not just the product. We show them the insights, we show them why it works there, increases the productivity. This is, whether it be the price point, whether it be the category, we can deliver all of those insights, and it elevates that partnership. So we're not just bringing great items, we're bringing a partnership. And, Sophia has been right with me in some of these presentations, and you see the excitement, because it's no longer contingent on that TV show or this. It's just great toys, great product that kids and families connect with.
A company that actually uses their insights. Amazing. That's awesome.
Novel idea.
I've been in companies where they've had insights and they've used them to disprove things, but it's great. So the licensing piece is new. I know you've dabbled in it before, but it's pretty new. In the 30 years, you've got people that have been there a long time. How was the reaction internally? Was there a lot of pushback? Was there a lot of questions? Was there? I'm wondering, how easy was it to sell internally and then obviously sell it externally to your buyers?
I think for us, we are on a growth path. We are excited to add more product, and they're members of my team that have been here over 17 years, 20 years. So long-term employees, and they couldn't be more excited just because they know some of these properties, they have kids with some of these properties. And I think, again, it's like we're up for the challenge. We're always reinventing ourselves and, wanting to sort of take something that maybe people have done before. What can we, as Melissa and Doug, bring to the table? So I think, there was one of our designers had a son who all he did was watch Paw Patrol. So again, a lot of excitement. I think, for us, we pretty quickly nailed on this idea of what we could do that was going to be different is not just taking our existing items and logo slap, which we mean just, putting some artwork and just calling it a day. We really want to take that Melissa and Doug play experience, that richness of play, all that fun detailing and that layering that we like to add in and everything. How can we bring that to, Paw Patrol and have, that dashboard, the mission dashboard, have these sounds and the sound salad, as we called it, and that richness, but that also still have the wood, right? There's, walk through that licensing island. There are very few people doing anything in wood. There's consumers clamoring for wood products with licensing properties. So again, we're solving that, we're addressing their needs. We're meeting them where they are. So it was, we were excited to try our hand in it. I think the product lines that we came up with couldn't have been more beautiful. And I, obviously a little bit biased, but
That was a big pat on the back there. Good job. Yeah.
It was a tremendous effort from the team. But I think we really spent the time to hone our vision of what this could be, and very excited where we landed. I think it was the sort of the right mix of, it's our take on what licensing is. And where again, it's that richness of open-ended, play that's going to ignite imagination with that rich character world.
Was it hard? Was it difficult finding the first licenses, what you thought would have a good brand alignment for you all, or was it?
There have been a lot of brands that have come to us for years, wanting to do this. I mean, again, to David's point, and we have been known in there as having a very strong appeal in the toddler infant world, that 0 to 6 age group. So there are brands that have come knocking for many years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
Lee, to your point, it matched the brand synergy, like our mission. Their true content, the way the characters play, where the content's out there, it matched. And as Sophia said, this is the polar opposite of a label slap. It's taken the essence and the purity of Melissa and Doug and infusing it with some of the great Viacom properties of Paw Patrol and Blue's Clues and You. And you see it, it's amazing. I think, Sophia, you could attest, we actually had to dispel perceptions. It's like, oh, well, they're going to be in licensing. I can imagine what it is. Here's your figures, here's your play set, and here's your vehicle. Well, no, it's actually infused and what Melissa and Doug looks like. And I give full credit to our partners at Viacom as well. They partnered with us along this journey. We pushed them to think differently and saying, well, no, this is a lot about our brand as well. And when we bring the two together, the power, and I can attest, I've had some tough sells in my career. This wasn't a really tough sell, Lee. And it's a matter of showing them what it means to bring these two brands together rather than just taking the license and putting it on some product. And I can tell you the early reads, it's only been out there for a few weeks as planograms and Mojo start to reset. And it's exciting times. We're at or above plan on every single item, and we are proving some naysayers to a different degree, but accelerating behind it. So we're excited because this is a multi-year agreement, but I want to make sure that we're clear. This is not just who we are. We have a core tenet of our portfolio and our brand, like dust sweep and mop, and so many great items, our puzzle lineup, that is still core to our line. Licensing is a great complement to that, but we will never abandon or go away from our core. And it's not licensed at will. We are going to be very selective as we look at it and very strategic. And I'm going to use the term, you're probably going to see some more zigs to everybody else's zags in the future.
Oh, that's great. I mean, is there just going back that it's been 30 years with very little licensing, and I'm sure that challenge was, one is this going to take away from our core business or our core brand? Does this cannibalize it? Which obviously you're saying no by the judging of your nodding and shaking your head. Was there a fear that it would be hard to infuse your brand just as much as other people's brands? Was it a big challenge for that? Or is it just keep knocking on the door and trying to figure out how it's going to work? Was there a point where you're like, this isn't working, or we just got to try again?
For the combination of our product with licensing?
Yeah.
Not really. I think we stepped back and, we spent some time just looking at the content and getting to know the worlds of Paw Patrol and Blue's Clues and You. And as we had done in the past with Disney, and really understand where those, what is, what most excites consumer about those brands. And then, since we know our core so well, and sort of what resonates with our consumer base, we pretty quickly got a sense of, okay, this is where we feel we could play, and this is how we kind of define that vision fairly early on in the process, and always had that check, right? Is it open-ended? Is it doing this? Is, what's the Melissa and Doug story? For me, I think, I've told David numerous times, at heart, I'm an environmentalist, right? I am not going to bring another product to the marketplace just for it to be another product that's going to, God forbid, just end up in a landfill, right? So for me, the idea is, what if someone looks at that, there's a reason for that product to exist. And, at Melissa and Doug, we have always made that our mission. We're not just selling products. Obviously, we want wonderful sales, but the point is that there's a reason that product has come to see the light of day. And so at the end of the day, what is that item? What is that? Why is that there? Is it different than everything else in the market? For it to have a place at retail, for it to shine, for it to sell, for it to become this new beloved thing in a child's, hand. So that is always a continual conversation. Is it differentiated? Is it going to add incremental sales? Because, if it doesn't, then what are we doing? So to David's point, licensing is a subset. It's just like a plus to our existing core. And since we have such growth plans, it's just that additional play, a world that we're playing in, but it doesn't take away from, us being sort of omni-channel with all our product, and having that freedom to really address multiple different channel needs or consumer needs with the variety of our products that we have, which, is from everything from pretend play, developmental play, puzzle, arts and crafts, outdoor games. There's a lot there that we are looking to and are excited to grow in. So we have honed our line a little bit. There's certain things we've decided, maybe isn't quite where we want to be in the future, but the richness of what we have is so much that it's quite a large world to play. The sandbox is large.
Yeah.
There you
go.
Lee, let me just add on it, because I think Sofia is undershooting a couple of things that give her and her team and the broader team a lot of credit. The partnership between our brands is very strong, but it showed what Melissa and Doug can do and the power of a lot of things. The insights, the mission, the vision stays the same. This line was brought together in a very quick period of time, but with all those checks to make sure that it was still right.
Yeah.
And so we know all the retailers, and probably to all the inventors out there, they are looking for continual innovation at speed. Now, it's not just anything and everything, but I mean, the insights that brought there, the creativity that Sofia and the team put behind it, that was all done in under an 18-month period of time. So that's quick to market with a partner. That's not normal in the industry. Sofia, every new item launched, and as we look to refresh our line in the years ahead, comes out in 6L packaging. It's a global launch day and date, right? So these are things that Sofia and her team and Bridget Miller, who is our head of global marketing, have infused into our brand and our processes. Multiple language on our key product within Paw Patrol this year with a dashboard. I mean, it's French, English, and Spanish right out of the chute, and it enhances the play. It doesn't, it is open-ended. It has the voices. I mean, just right from the beginning, we can go global. I also wanted to make sure it took us some time, and I would say some of the harder conversations to sell in this great product were actually with our independents. A group was just out at the Astra show over the past few days. It's because there's a perception of what licensed toys are in the marketplace. These accounts and this group over here, what they do is it's tight margin, and it's just that stuff with a label and with a logo on it. We actually showed them the product. This is one of the first time in person that we could show them the great products, and you could see it connect. It's like, oh, hold on, that's not my perception. And so it's amazing when they see it coming together with Melissa and Doug, and now they see an opportunity. They might not have ever had that brand in their store, right? Whether it be mid-tier, small, mom and pops, it doesn't matter. They're looking at it differently, and our biggest mass accounts and our online players are looking at it differently as well. So it's changing the perception. But full credit to Sofia and the organization, because they've pivoted in a very quick period of time and connected with that consumer and brought product to market in record time. And that's what any business needs as we move forward.
Well, that's the perfect. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sophia.
Okay, I was just going to add to. I think something that's exciting is that we play in various price points, right? So if you're an inventor and you're feeling like, oh, I don't know, this thing might be too expensive for me to bring to XYZ or whatever, just know that our products range from anywhere from, a couple dollars or activity pads that are, $6.99 or whatever, all the way to over $200. And we play well in each of those areas because we have that channel distribution that works across the board. So again, we are not confined. I think we're nimble because we've kind of always sort of, beaten to our own drum, I guess. It's just we're flexible and nimble. It can really kind of grow. So if the inventors have this idea and they're not right away not seeing a home for it, just approach us because we do have that openness to appreciating good design because I get really excited about that. And
can't tell, Sophia.
No, not at all. It doesn't come out.
We're product, we're product led. I report straight into the CEO, and I think that's also really important thing to keep in mind when you're dealing with a company is where do the designers sit at the table? We have obviously David heading up the commercial team, and we have Bridget, who's my partner in the marketing end. But I have an equal voice on the design end. So as an inventor, you can come to come to us and know that your product will be your baby. Will be treated sort of with the most potential, right? That you can really be excited about that. Because I know, as a creative myself, you want to know that you're going to have that voice. You're going to be listened to, and we can, we have the commercial breadth and muscle to obviously get it out there. But that it's going to be the right thing for us and for you and so forth. So I just want to add that on.
So Sophia, would you also agree? Hey, Lee, by the way, we'll host this. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, I know. It's like you're whipping through questions. I don't have anything to ask you beyond this.
But I mean, Sophia, I think you'd agree. It's also with the inventor community that is out there. If they bring us those ideas, it also becomes one of our priorities.
Yeah.
We don't bring out hundreds and thousands of SKUs across multitude of portfolio. This is our brand. This is our baby. And if we work together, that's going to be taken through our system and our processes, refined. To our teams are doing that within our supply chain. And what we've promised our retail partners is that we are making sure that when we bring it to market, it's on time. It's tested, it's secure, it's the greatest quality product that they know it's going to hit all the right timelines. Well, to an inventor, that's got to be key. You don't want this languishing as the 12B priority in a portfolio. And I think that's another thing that we can bring to that table as well. And Sophia, obviously, and her team will curate that along the way. Well,
let's flip that for a second, because I think that's a great segue into the inventor opportunities and partnerships. And, it's you haven't worked with a lot of inventors on the outside, and this is I think a great opportunity to open up a new channel for inventors with an incredible brand and a quality brand, as you said, that hits multiple price points, multiple play patterns, and different areas of the toy store. For you guys, what is the ideal pitch from inventors? What are you looking for, and what advice can you give them as they start opening that door and getting to know you better? I obviously know your brand, but what are you looking for? I'll start with Sophia.
I think obviously something new. For us, it would be the most perfect ideal invention would be something that's completely incremental to our business, but yet feels completely us. And I think when I speak to completely us, it's sometimes the simplest ideas have maybe the most, are the strongest. It's very, very hard, and I'm sure extremely rare to see that. But I think, we view everything that comes through our doors, we'll look at, and we have a team that reviews the concepts. And, we have sort of our internal checklist of what we look for. Obviously, if it's heavily technology based, if there's a screen component, it's going to sort of be a red flag for us, because that's just not where we play. That's not where we see, our market being. But if there, if it's something that feels like it can endeavor to have open-ended play and sort of ignite imagination, we're open to it. I think just the cleanliness of ideas being sort of this very simple concept that people can just walk by and get it right away is probably the strongest. But we're open to everything. I mean, surprise me, surprise David. We don't know. I would hate to say, as far as categories, I think, our top 5, sort of this idea of, developmental play, pretend play, arts and crafts, puzzles, and then, so dabbling a little bit in outdoor as well. But again, it's, we have that flex. And so, our core audience, really it's 0 to 6. You could even make it 6 months to, 3 to 5 years but, we're open.
Sure.
But I think, someone who's looked through our line could possibly, it doesn't necessarily have to be wood, although
Right.
we of course love things to be wood, but that's not necessarily a deal breaker. But, just something that's truly novel and could be very simple, but yet, once we put a little bit of a spin on it, could resonate really well with our audience.
Yeah, it's a tough task. You have over, I think, 5,000 items in your portfolio.
We've
So
done,
finding something.
done a lot.
It's close to that, Lee. There's no question. But I think Sophia's spot on. It's like, I think I would encourage any inventor to come to us, speak with Sofia, and engage us on the website and submit their ideas. But know our mission, know our vision as a company,
Yeah.
because if they know that, they already have their guardrails. The worst thing, we would never want to take and work with somebody and kind of manipulate it on either side. No, it's pure. Our mission, our vision, that open-ended creative play is key. Bring us those ideas, screen free. You got great product out there, might not match who we are, that's fine. But bring us the product that matches in those core 5 categories. You're going to get a passionate group of people that are willing to sit alongside and partner with you and evolve the idea, give you insights into our brand and insights into who our consumer is, where we think the product could go, price points, all those sort of things, but work with you rather than say, thank you very much, we'll take it from here. And I think that, full credit to Sofia and the team, as we're opening up our doors to this great brand, you get the power of what Sofia and the team bring to it in the development side. So it's to me, it's a perfect synergy and exciting for any inventor. And we hope to see some more great ideas. We want to continue to innovate and drive our business.
And Lee, as far as the change, I think, we've had the past a few people sort of come through, but this is really, I would imagine this past year has been the first time that we've ever sort of did an outreach. And so it is new for us to come to this community, to reach out our hand and say, welcome, doors are now open. So I think it's the right time, for someone to come in, just because we are, we can build what that looks like together. What does that relationship look like together? What does that partnership together? Nothing said in, we have nothing sort of really as a modus of apparatus set in stone yet. So I think it's a really exciting time to come.
Terrific. Well, I don't think I can end it any better than those 2 last statements from the 2 of you. I think it's just a fantastic opportunity. I think what's happening at Melissa and Doug both on the design side, the development side, and the commercial side, and even your partnership side, and your announcement on sustainability and all that is just truly, it's inspiring. And I think it's going to make a big impact, not only on just everyday children's lives and parents' lives and families, but also the industry that you're a part of, that we're all a part of. So thank you for taking the lead on a lot of that. It's fantastic. With that, I want to thank our good friend Billy Langsworthy of the Mojo Nation and the whole team over there for inviting us to talk today. The Play Creators Conference is promising to be something super exciting. We're absolutely excited to be a part of it, and thank you so much. I'm Lee Allentuck for Sofia Dumery and Dave Henderson of Melissa and Doug. I'm coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere. I really got to work on the background.
Nerd headquarters.
I'm at HQ. But thank you so much, guys. It was such a pleasure talking to you today, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you.